Well, a very good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Flight Data Sim live stream today. It is the 10th of October 2024, 3 minutes past 3 in the afternoon. Here we are, Microsoft Flight Simulator in the iFly 737 MAX. We are in Florida, Miami. The weather's actually calmed down quite a bit, but as we all well know here in chat, Hurricane Milton has made its way through Florida over the past 12 hours. I think it's caused a lot of destruction and damage. So if you're in the US, certainly in that part of the world, may I wish you all your safety and well-being and during the recovery as well. But we're going to be flying into where we're going to Daytona Beach, which I think had the strongest reported winds when I started planning this stream 3 hours ago. It has calmed down a little bit as the hurricane moves into the Atlantic, but we still have a max crosswind landing. We'll be landing off of runway 07 left, short flight from Miami, about 50 minutes. So about a 25-30 knot crosswind, where it's still very much heavy rain, strong winds as well. But as you can see here in Miami, it's looking very, very nice indeed. And oh yes, another thing, I'll be streaming again later. Tolis got in contact and sent me over their brand new Airbus A330-900neo. So we're going to do 2 streams today, and we're going to have a continuation in X-Plane in Daytona Beach as we fly to Atlanta, the helm of Delta, the largest A330 operator, which will be done offline for that sector today. Just the stock livery for the iFly MAX 737 have the LVFR scenery here for Miami, which I purchased some time ago. And yeah, actual wind here is like less than 10 knots. I think Miami was far away from the brunt of this weather, but here we are. We've been flying this aircraft for the past few days. 3rd stream now in this excellent add-on. I can't wait until it's available for you to purchase. Again, no information about that, I'm afraid, in the future. It'll be coming out very soon, no doubt, as well. Domino Mosin, I love Airbus. Yes, you'll be hearing lots of that later on when we jump into the Tolis A330-900. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Scotty2 is here as well. Thank you very much for your continued support as a member. I hope you're doing just fine. Franco, why is it sunny? I would love to see if the wipers really wipe the water. They do, Franco, in the iFly MAX. I was playing with it earlier. But yeah, the weather has calmed down lovely here. You know, it's lovely here in Miami now. Well, it's gusting 21 knots, but down the runway, but 10 statute miles, but still not very nice in Daytona Beach. I couldn't have streamed any earlier because I had plans today. It would have been ideal if we did it this morning. Steve Cooksy's here. Here we blow. Says, good luck, Captain. Thank you very much. I think we'll be okay. Taylor, this is the one time you don't want to ignore the cabin crew. Absolutely, you must keep your seatbelt signs on at all times to ensure that you're safe as well. Suckledent says, are we going to get another Airbus loving complication? Maybe. I'll play that at the start of the stream. We'll have to see. Franco, they do. Oh my god, PMDG better step up their game. Oh yes, well, PMDG is very, very good, but there's a lot of features in this aircraft which have been modelled which the PMDG doesn't have. It's a fantastic add-on you have here coming up here. No Uncle Milton Airlines, no ad today. You're doing well over in Minneapolis. Nice to see you here, buddy. Who else got? V Brandon, V Skycheck, Hayden, J Robbins is here, Joshua Borges says Windshear as well, Jamlin here as well, Fig Jam, hope you're all doing very well, guys. Nice to see you all here in chat. Anyway, let's get GSX attached with the air bridge, so we'll request boarding. There we are. Let's get the GPU connected, the air bridge up and away, and we can start our boarding as soon as we jump into the cockpit. There we are. We've got this VGTS working really well, and it's fully synced with SimBrief, so you can see information about where you are. We've started boarding. You have ETA information for when you're due out of your stand, so look, due out in 22 minutes. Off block and airborne time. It's really cool. I don't know how any of that stuff works or why it's compatible with this scenery, but it's really nice to see that's all working there. Right, let's get the show on the road anyway. So battery we can pop on. GPU on the bus. Electric hydraulic pumps are on. Landing gear lever is down. We have 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. Yes, we'll attach the tug now. Oh, GSX Pro is outdated. I only updated it last stream. There we are. Get the tug attached nice and early. Let's do the fault and fire tests. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green lights. Fault test. Fault AV detector in up. It goes straight to the fire test as well. I did just about see overheat detector and the fire warning light illuminate. Emergency exit lights are on. We are pre-fueled. Let's talk about what fuel you'd want to take on a sector like this. So the weather has calmed down significantly in... we are ready for pushback. Hello, in Hurricane Milton. If we have a look at the METAR here in Daytona Beach with the hurricane, it's 360 at 16 gusting 30, which is actually okay. We have the option of the shorter runway later on as well, so if it's still really windy and we can't get in off the crosswind, we can actually land on the much shorter southerly runway, landing on runway 34. It's only 1,800 metres, but it is long enough. You'll be pleased to know we're going to try and do a max crosswind landing on 7 left today, so that's the plan with the weather. Now, when the weather's like this and it's inclement everywhere, you want to plan very conservatively when it comes to your routing. So I've done a couple of things here. Firstly, I've changed my alternate to come back here to Miami. So our alternate here, look, alternate Miami 1751. So that's the first thing. We've got a sufficient flight plan fuel to return, and that's included in the minimum block fuel. We've also got alternate fuel for Jacksonville, which is a little bit closer, but then we plan really conservatively. Now, we're fortunate not to suffer from hurricanes in Europe, so when we get weather like this, if we were to get weather similar to this, we'd have a lot of emails from up saying plan conservatively with fuel. So I'm actually going to take full wings. That's 7.8 tons. That's what I'd be taking in real life as well. That gives me an extra sort of, we're talking nearly an hour and 15 minutes of extra fuel just to sit on your hand before you can actually then come back to Miami. So yeah, and that puts, make sure if you take a lot of extra fuel, you're still below your max landing weight. So 2.8 tons of extra fuel is 67.8. It keeps us just below our max landing weight. So that's what we're going to go with today, 7.8 tons of fuel. Oh, look at that, I've planned it already, and there we are. And to make it even more interesting, we've got a full load of passengers. So if I go here to menu, sim menu, I think it's under, and then it's, what's it under here, is it, I can't remember which one. No, it's not under those ones, it's performance. You'll see here under weight and balance, I've loaded all the passengers, a full load, 178 with this configuration. There's my 7.8 tons of fuel. Estimated landing weight is 67,770. The max landing weight for the iFly Max is actually much higher than what we have at my operator of 68.2, but we are at my operator just below the max landing weight. Are we maxing to Milton, said James Wester. Yes, we are. Unbelievable. There we are. So fueling and boarding is underway. You can hear the air bridge and are the passengers coming on? Let's open the door. Oh, hello again. She was on my last flight. There we are. The passengers are coming straight in there. He's giving me the Glaswegian kiss. Perfect. So we did all that. Cargo fire test. We can now complete. Flaps are up, which match the indicated position. Do a quick config check. That's all working. Forward aft discharge, and the fire warning light has illuminated. Radio tuning panel we can now set. So it's an RNAV SID, but I think they must have a VOR or something on at the airport in Miami. Let me just have a little look on the charts. Yeah, they've got there's a Dolphin, the Dolphin Miami VOR just to the west of the airfield, so might as well tune that. 13.9. There we are, 13.9. And if we have to come straight back, I'll just tune an ILS. Off the takeoff runway, ILS 27. Yeah, let's put on 1095 as the active frequency. We're going to be taking off from runway 27 today. It's much closer than all of the other runways. 1095 is the active ILS. Perfect, that's all set. 2000 standby for the transponder, and the transponder's out off. Rudder and aileron trim is 3 and 0. Check all of the up overhead panel. Stall warning test. Flight recorders checked. That off light should have been on prior to the test, so that should show off at the moment. That's I think that's something I pointed out last stream. IRS to nav, let me guess 10 minutes. Oh no, it's actually taking into account the latitude. It's been 10 minutes the last few streams. So we've got on the line, and then on DC lights have extinguished. Perfect. Circuit breakers we'd then check behind my seat. Safety equipment's all checked as well. Ooh, it's like a little box there. That's random. That must be an optional extra from Boeing. We don't have a little stowage door. Perfect. We've done the safety inspection checklist. Hello Tom H, hope you're doing well there. Loads of mods in chat as well. Longcat just started flying the NG, and now you start flying the Max. Typical. You'll have to get some Max at your operator then, sir. I hope you're doing well. AJ, of course they have VORs. How else do you think the drug smugglers that flew powder into Miami navigate? No comment. No further comment on that, AJ Fernari. Good. So we'll get the local pressure setting in inches of mercury. Here in Miami, it is currently 2978. Yes, that's worked, pressing the magic B button. We'll treat it like NADP2, so we'll set that to Barrow. And we'll put that up to 1,050 feet or so, or 1,030. Something like that will do. It's about 1,000 feet AGL. Lower that. Lighting panel is all set and configured. Rudders, oxygen, I'd check We are all good there. Excellent. Got my coffee, check the radio tuning panel, and now we can load up the FMC. So, latest AIRAC is installed, and we'll put in our position. Miami, Kilo Mike, India Alpha. GPS left. Let's request from SimBrief our routing. Hi Aaron, found out about the stream from Discord after joining again because Discord kicked me out and I had no idea. Oh dear Aaron, sorry to hear that. Sometimes it should be good, as long as you've got the active membership it recognises it and it shouldn't boot you out, but sometimes if it lapses during the sync it'll kick you out. There's usually a 24-hour grace period, but glad you got it sorted. Right, load in the routing. There we are, it's coming in. Reset that. Perfect, there we go. So departures, runway 27. It will be the Flamingo 2 departure. Transition via, I think it's Shtmi. I don't know how you pronounce that one. Let's have a little look here. No, it seems to, the chart seems to end at Onzo. Oh no, then it's Flamingo. It's the Wapon transition. There we go. Wapon. And then from Wapon, Valka, Dimby, and there's no arrivals into Daytona Beach, but there is a transition via Samir on the ILS. So if we select ILS 07 left, you can see that there's the transition, Samira, and that's where the flight plan ends. So this is actually going to be a good test because it's an RNAV curve, which I don't think the PMDG can manage. So we'll just execute that. And there is one little bug here with the iFly. You should be able to step through your routing even though the IRS alignment isn't complete, but it's not appearing on the map. Not to worry. Let's do the performance then. 0 fuel weights in, which is 62.2. Reserves to get back into Miami, remember, it's going to be flight sim brief 2.7 tons. Cost index 30, we're just at 27,000 feet today. Winds have really died down now, look, 296 at 30. I'll have to rename this video just a flight from Miami to Daytona Beach. No, it should be quite windy there. Plus 20, look at the ISO temperature though, plus 20 degrees. That's executed. Let's now look at the performance. So put all this weight in here. I've set the Microsoft fuel and payload, and that's now complete. Takeoff performance, I put in all the wind pre-stream, so to save some time, 25 degrees, QNH is 1002, converted from inches of mercury. That's landing performance, you nincompoop. Where's takeoff? Miami 27 dry, 250, 13 meters per second, so I've halved it. 26 degrees, 1008. We'll try TO2 max. We have a cross in less than 10 knots. AC on anti-ice off. Calculated. Oh yes, I have. So it's TO2. 37 with 79.3. The M1, you'll notice in comparison to the NG, is much lower because of the large diameter size of the fans. It doesn't have to spin as quick. So 79.3, 37. So that's TO2, 37 degrees, 81.0 and 79.3. Yeah, a slight discrepancy. When you put the APU bleed on, that will show 80.2 or 80.4. And this is showing 79.3, so the FMC is giving an extra 0.1%. Takeoff flap 5, CG is in, 6.9 units of trim, which is set, and the V speeds, we've got in the OPT 45, 45, 49, 45, 45, 49, and we can set V2 on the MCP here. Perfect. Crank up the APU. Awesome. Your dampers on, nav transfer display switch is normal auto, fuel, all the pumps, crossfeed, bright, dim, bright and off. I love how the fuel temperature is representative of the temperature outside, it's nice to see. CAMU TTI for galley power's on, panel lighting's all set, check the attend button, window heat, pop on, that's all set, right igniter, auto. 27,000 feet. What's the elevation at Daytona Beach? Is it sea level? 34 feet. We'll just leave it at 50. Perfect. That's all set. Pop on the flight directors, and we're departing from runway 27 here. So the QDM is 272. Perfect. Doing great for time. I am online on VATSIM on this sector. I won't be for the Airbus A330 stream later. It's my first ever flight flying an Airbus A330. Just going to leave Daytona Beach and go to Atlanta. Right, that's all set. IRS alignment we're still waiting for. Jim, you can have the legs page. You test the GPWS system as well. That's what the first officer does on the first flight of the day. And that is all set. Beautiful, we're ready to go pretty much. On max, all hydraulic pumps remain on. No, you want to turn off the hydraulic pumps, Mafias Diniz. It's the exact same system as the NG, because when you turn the battery off and then you want it back on again, and then AC power with the GPU AP, you don't want the electric hydraulic pumps turning on straight away afterwards. So we do turn off the electric hydraulic pumps prior to shutdown and prior to engine start. APU's on the bus. We can get the ground power disconnected. So menu, system page. I'm getting used to this tablet now. I know where things are. Disconnect the ground power, set. And I've already removed the chocks. Good, terminal charts. Use airports from FMS. Let's see if these work here. So complete. Also Miami. Yeah, so we've got... How do you get onto the sort of SIDS and things like that? Ah, there we are. So we've got the airport chart there. Ugh, what's happened here? It's how to get to the sort of SID charts. I did manage it. Is it chart utilities? No. Route setup? No. Terminal charts? Yeah, complete. So I want to be able to show the SIDs and other charts, but is it edit clip? Ah, there we are. Found it. Edit clip. So the SID we're going to do is a Flamingo 2. Those are SIDs, aren't they? No, they're stars. That's the display for a SID. Okay, Flamingo 2. Complete. There we are, so I've got that one selected. But it doesn't... Oh, loading chart. I think it just takes ages, or it's still a bit buggy with the chart view. But not to worry. We can certainly use the Navigraph overlay. So we'll just brief the taxi and SID, and then we'll get on our way. So we are on stand Foxtrot. I can't remember what it was actually. I'll show you. Zooming in, I just need to get rid of the overlay. Foxtrot 16, F16, that was it. So hopefully a pushback to face... no, I know AJ39 wasn't the best plan for departure. Maybe I should have picked a different airport, but never mind. We'll face southeast on Papa, short taxi to runway 27 here in Miami, and then the SID is going to be a Flamingo 2. I presume it's pronounced Flamingo. Runway 27, climb on heading 272 to intercept course 298 to Crocs. Brilliant. 298 to Crocs. And then from Crocs, we're going to go 315 to Ross, 317 to Ross, slight discrepancy there. Track 007 to Ramiro, 009 to Ramiro. No mention of a stop altitude, is there? Oh yeah, on zone Flamingo, assigned transition, maintain 5,000 feet, expect filed altitude 10 minutes after departure. So we'll just put a stop altitude of 5,000 feet initially. We'll stick that in at Ramiro, executes. Set 5,000 feet here on the MCP, and imagine we have our SID clearance. And then the routing goes from Ramiro to Alonso and then to Flamingo, and we'll be approaching our cruise level there. Cool. What else do I need to do? Auto brake to RTO, reset fuel flow. That's all set. Welcome aboard there, Yago Galindo. Thank you very much for your subscription there. Scotty, I'm on holiday at the moment, so not got my fingers on the pulse. Loving how good the Max is looking, but any suggestions on the release date? No idea, Scotty, too. I've been asked that more than 100 times on the streams the past few days, but I have no idea. If I had it known, I would pin it as a comment to stop everyone asking. But if you didn't know already, Scotty too, it has been asked a lot. Right, good. Look at that. We are ready for pushback. Let's get rid of the charts here. So we'll have to go from there. Yeah, unfortunately, just because of the timing of this, I think I wanted to land in the worst weather, which is still, I think, Daytona Beach. Certainly got strong winds. I could have maybe come in from somewhere else where it was a bit windier, but Miami was windy when I checked this morning, but it's just died down very, very quickly. Yeah, but 2 tons, a good point. May pin the comments stating you don't know the release date. Good point. Fig Jam, thank you, 16 months. Why did all the eggs break? Because they cracked each other up. Oh, Fig Jam, that is where's my soundboard? I think that's worthy of I don't have the yeah, here we go. Ah, yes, well done. Brilliant. Thank you very much for your support for just over a year, buddy. Hope you're doing very well. Thank you indeed. Right, let's now commence pushback. As ahead of schedule, I'll have you know. There we go. Request or prepare for pushback and departure. There we are. So that's going to close the door and disconnect the air bridge. And we're going to do... nose left facing southwest on taxi 19. Let's just do that one.
Release parking brakes, please.
Southwest is the direction we want anyway, so that's good. Packs off. AP bleed more than 2 minutes. Anti-collision light on. Reset that.
Release parking brakes, please.
Parking brake is released.
Commencing push. All engines clear.
And transponder out off. Let's go. Yeah, the chart thing here, it's a bit buggy. So we'll just have to not use it. Or maybe I need to initialize flight first. Oh, it's fine. We'll just use the overlay. 5 minutes ahead of schedule. Look at that. That was a flight deck to esque dad joke. I know, Anthony. I'm used to it. There we are. There's the dispatcher. Not too blowy here, at least. Right, starting engine number 2. Perfect. N2. Hi Tom, 33RC, doing very well, thanks for popping in. There's N1. Oil pressure's a bit slow to come on, it would usually come on a little bit quicker, even in the max. There's oil pressure. Get this in position, ready for the engine start. Motoring's complete, 25%. Fuel on. Where are we being pushed, I wonder? I think that's correct. Oh yes, that's it. The nose wheel's not turning, alarmingly. Excellent. They are very, very good sounds. Right, starting engine number 1. Perfect. Abbas, what does motoring do for the engine? So this is called bowed rotor motoring. The M1 and N2 rotor shaft.
Please set parking brakes.
Yes, sir.
Waiting your confirmation for a good engine
The
start.
M1 and N2 rotor blades bow if they're stationed for a long time, or if there's a lot of heat in there. The way the heat dissipates in the engine, it goes to the top and it stays cool at the bottom. So it's not such an issue on first engine starts today, which is why it doesn't take too long, but after subsequent sectors it can take a long time for that heat to dissipate, which is what motoring is. And then once the heat's dissipated, the M1 N2 rotor shaft straightened, motoring's complete, it spools up to 25%, and then you insert fuel, which is what we're doing now. 25% fuel on. Oops, my views have all reset, unfortunately.
Minimums, approaching minimums.
See if we can see the engine from here in business class. Not quite. They're excellent, these engine start downs. Very quiet in this cabin. Just save that panel state view again. Thanks, Jamlin. Very good. 2 good engine starts. Almost.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start.
Oh, my voice has changed.
Disconnect.
There we are. Starter cut out. 2, 5, 7, 3, 1 and 2 stable. There we are. Just wait until the pushback's been disconnected. Jamlin, thanks, buddy. Only a mere 55 months, 4 years as a member. Afternoon, Captain. Any news on getting the paint kit? Would love to get a Max in the fleet. I did ask Jamlin, but I don't think the paint kit's available yet, and it will be available on release. I think that's what it said in the Discord. I think one of the devs replied to that, but I did message directly.
Unlocking gear.
Ilias, thoughts on the Aerosoft A330? Now, I was very fortunate to be given a key from Aerosoft, but I'm not one of those sort of people that wants to showcase an aircraft that I think has been publicly shamed. I think it's of a very poor quality, isn't it? Or certainly not a ready state. I could do it for a laugh, perhaps, and the same with the Boeing 707 as well. If you want to see a quality Airbus A330, don't forget I've got a
Left is clear. Right is clear.
release early access toeless A330 to showcase this evening, 9 o'clock British summer time. The stream is already live, and if you look at my YouTube page, you'll be able to see that live as well. That's an X-Plane 12. We'll continue the journey from Daytona Beach going up to Atlanta. Who else we got here? Weatherman They, 8 months. Hope you're doing well, Captain. I'm very excited for your toeless 339 stream later today, as we were saying. Been loving the Max streams as well. Thank you very much, buddy. Thank you for your continued support as well. Almost a year as a member now. Thank you very much. Right, let's see the pin. Perfect. I'm glad I've got that GSX passenger display off, because it certainly eats the FPS. There we are. It's running a lot smoother now they've gone. Right, generators on. APU off. Start switches continuous. Probe heat on. Anti-ice not required. Air conditioning. PAX auto. Open the isolation valve, and the APU bleed is off. Flaps to 5. Flight controls. Full forward. Full back. Left. Centre. Right. Centre. Try the rudders. Right and left. Looking good. Recall and reduce the expanded display, and then we complete the before taxi checklist. Superb. Right, we are on VATSIM. Just make sure there's no ATC, which I highly doubt in this part of the world here today, but we are on Unicom, so we'll just advise traffic we're taxiing out. Miami traffic, Alpaca 5 Mike Tango taxi to runway 27 for departure to the north. Right, so turn off and taxi lights on. Just a reminder for taxiing. Left turn here onto Papa, Quebec, and then we'll depart from Quebec at 10. Parking brake released. Let's do a quick config check. I know it's really too fast with the engine spool up. Yeah, that will be addressed hopefully, but we are on our way. Might need a little bit of thrust here. Do you have the audio checklist for the Max reheat? No, only for the Zebo mod. What's the weather like in Daytona now? I wonder, can anyone get that up in chat? We'll see. We're still going to be landing off the least favourable runway with that massive crosswind, but it'd be good to see the crosswind behaviour on the Max. There we're on Papa. Cheers, guys. Thank you. They will definitely come up now. So yeah, look at that. Oh, it's died down. Oh no, I should have streamed this about 6 hours ago. It's not even that bad. 14 gusting, 20 heavy rain. Okay, hopefully that will be depicted well in the sim. Right, approaching Quebec. Let's now do the before takeoff checklist. So it's a massive long hold point here. So config we've checked. Flaps we have 5 green light. So we'll see how the taxi routing is. Yeah, there we are. So we'll just go to this whole point here. Takeoff briefing. So it's PAX auto, bleeds on, V-speed set for departure, 45, 45, 49 set on the MCP. The departure is the Flamingo 2, RNAV sit off runway 27. We're going to climb straight ahead until we get to Crocs, and then Russ, and then Ramiro, climbing to an altitude of 5,000 feet, which is set here. NADP 2, engine altitude, we'll just climb straight ahead to the MSA, which is 3,000 feet. Reviewed. Cabin secure, checklist complete. Loaded all these extra bath bags for nothing, I know. No auto land today, Rohit, with this crosswind. It's out of limits. Max crosswind component for Autoland 20 knots, and it's about 20. Well, actually, it's probably dropped down now, but we want to do this hand flown max crosswind landing. Perfect. Right, just set the parking brake. Mind you, we've got our takeoff clearance here, so pop on the lights, strobes, weather radar. If it actually works in the sim, I don't know. Airport. Transponder to TARA. So MCP is now set. Transponder TARA. Strobe lights are on. All the forward facing lights on. Cleared takeoff checks complete. Oh yeah, Josiah, you're right. How do you know I should be squawking that? I was told to squawk 0501. Perfect. Well, I'd like to do a rolling takeoff, but the engines just spool up too quickly.
Approaching 27.
Thanks, Ras. So surface wind here, just checking the weather and Navigraph. It's 260 at 12, gusting 21 knots, so it's still down the runway. Might need to delay rotation, so
On runway 27.
when you have very gusty winds, you can actually delay rotation at VR, so you don't rotate with the wind decreasing, so you want to rotate through the gusts, something to consider. Right, so, Toga's in chat, let's head over to Daytona Beach. Timing. That didn't take long, 40% stabilised, set takeoff thrust. Reduced thrust today, 79.4, all that rudder sensitive.
Approaching 3.
Thanks, Ras.
0.
Takeoff thrust set indications normal. 80 knots checked. Now look how slow our ground speed is in comparison to our airspeed. Look at that. Look at the difference. 194. That's what strong headwinds can do. Yeah, unfortunately my thrust levers don't override the auto throttle slightly. So V1, no gust at VR, so we can rotate. Dead band. Oh, it's really fantastic. Positive rate of climb, gear up. I cannot explain how good the rotation feels. Best rotating aircraft in Microsoft Flight Sim. I've always been very critical of this simulator, of how aircraft respond. That was really good. LNAV. It's nice and smooth for now. A bit of gust. Yeah, airspeed behaviour is really good for gusty winds. Okay, there's 1,000 feet, bug up. Already at flap 1, so speed checked. Flaps 1. N1 at 1500 feet RA, and flaps up. Flies really nicely, this aircraft. It's gone very cloudy very quickly here. The remnants of Hurricane Milton around. Let's book 220. This flies so nicely. There's 220 knots. Got reduced climb, not much thrust here. So approaching 5,000 feet, we'll go vertical speed 2,000. Auto throttle's going to reduce thrust now to maintain 220 knots. 27 degrees, so we don't need any engine anti-ice. Very nice, all in trim. Let's get engaged the autopilot. So command A. And vertical speed maintaining 2,000 feet up to 5,000 feet after takeoff checklist. So gears off, auto brake off, start switches off, air conditioning and pressurization 1.5, climbing, set, release the crew so they can get some serving done, and 1 to go. But imagine we've been cleared up to our cruise level, flight level 270 already. Very nice. Add on this, guys. Right, there we are. So VNAV, we need to push out into vent to delete the 5,000 feet restriction in the FMC and set standard. I know we're in the US, but at my operator, once we're cleared to a flight level, we always set standard straight away. Passing 48, flight level 270 after takeoff check is complete. 270 knots. There we go. Awesome. It's the best add-on. I'm not just saying that because I fly this aircraft in real life, but it is generally one of the best add-ons I've flown in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Really. Oops, I forgot. I've got the pulsing lights on, haven't I? I was obviously reset. Yes, these have the option for flashing lights. Right, let's turn the sim sounds down slightly now. We're in flight, on our way. There we go. Perfect. So match the heading. Our ETA into Daytona Beach is as follows. It's 15:17, so not long at all. This is just a short little stream today to see how the aircraft handles in inclement weather, if it is still inclement upon arrival. Alex, hope you're doing well. Might be wrong though. I've heard to help birds see the aircraft. Oh, the pulsing landing lights. Is that why they have it as an option? Oh, cool. Don't have them personally. Nameless Ghost, I just wanted to say that I really appreciate the yoke cam on takeoff and landings you do. Thanks for the great content. Oh, awesome. Yeah, we've had that for a few months now, for over a year or two. It's an addition I know a lot of people enjoy watching and watching my inputs on the controls there. Yes, Andrew, I need to adjust the reactivity to smooth out the rudder response. Is that in Microsoft Flight Simulator or the iFly? Which settings are those? Zakrut, are the engine spool ups realistic? Does the Max actually do that? No, it's not realistic. That's one of the main areas I'd like them to fix, is the spool up time for the engines when you add thrust throughout the entire thrust range. It's unrealistic, unfortunately. Lucas, 2 streams today, yeah, in the Tolis A330 later. Is the racetrack model in Daytona? I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, this is famous for the Daytona racetrack, isn't it, in the NASCAR track? But this is just stock Daytona scenery when we get there. Fair enough, David. So arrival fuel, a whopping 5.7 tons. That's what you like to see when you've got crappy weather everywhere. Oops, I forgot to put our call sign in today. Alpaca 5 Mike Tango. Oh, I wonder what it's like down here. Well, Miami hasn't been as badly hit as the sort of Tampa and Fort Myers and Daytona. I think it's further north where the worst of the storm's been. Thomas, you flew me and my better half to Mallorca a few years ago. Did I, Thomas? Oh, did you say hello at any point? I can't remember. I have had a dozen, I'd say, people come up and just say, "Are you the guy that does the flight videos?" I've always said hello. So if you recognise my voice, come and say hello. When you fly with Ciao. Bonjour from France, said Bapino65. Melee, yeah, I do begin to feel like this aircraft handles a bit better than the PMDG. PMDG is more complete though. The actual flying from A to B is a more realistic experience, let's say. Now, top of climb coming up, so a short sector at top of descent. You can see the coast of Miami here. But where is the hurricane now? It's off over the Atlantic, isn't it? You can see the winds have really died down up here. I'm about 12 hours too late with this stream. Kat, can you increase the flight altitude on the pressurization panel? The cabin rate into descent, is that true to real life? Yes, that is correct, Kat. When you go above 37 to 38,000 feet, there's a different pressurization schedule, so the cabin altitude starts actually descending. That's true. That is correct. Mel Minaj, what about the cockpit? Which one would you say has better textures modelling? I think a lot of it's personal choice. I think the texturing this is excellent. I think it looks really realistic. The lighting at night's fantastic as well. But I think the same in the PMDG. I don't think it's bad. Neither are bad. Flying Water, have you tested how well the iFly handles holding? I've done a few bits of manual handling. It is very, very good. As good as I think you can get a desktop simulator. The pitch power settings are really impressive. The pitch and power settings are very similar to the NG. Well, sorry, the attitude is the thrust. You just basically take around 7% off the thrust for pretty much every phase of flight, and it's just a correct target thrust setting. You must remember that the Max has been built to match the NG as close as possible, so things like the aircraft handling is pretty much identical to the Max. The way the engines react to when you add thrust and reduce thrust, the aircraft's thrust pitch couple has been made to match. It's just been designed that way to make it sort of common as a common type. Jedi, do you think the displays are a bit long in length? No, looks spot on to me. They are big displays. The sounds here are really, really good. Just need to reset my view. In the mission of taking up the thumbnail for this, I had to change. Oh, you just get that noise over the wing as well. The airflow is very good. I open the window. Window blinds. There we go. Superb. Mohammed, this or the Z-boat? I think the mod handles better, but that's just because of the. I think explain the aircraft handle better in that sim. Texture-wise, though, we know the textures and quality and the visuals in this sim are far superior than in X-Plane. 6.0 on the diff. And sit. Yeah, David, the sounds are really good as you move around the cabin. Absolutely. Captain, what do you think is the best classic aircraft in any simulator? I have to say the PMDG DC-6, which you flew just under 2 weeks ago, again for the first time, is very, very good and still holding up very well in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I think that's probably one of the best modelled classic airliners. Oh, Jack, Captain, tuning in from Tokyo. Very cool. Just coming up to midnight Japanese Standard Time. But you'd know that flying for Jao and all. Absolutely, yeah. It's about about midnight too. You're probably in the next block of apartments next to me, Jack. Brilliant. Aaron, are you the guy that flies their virtual planes on the internet? Yes. Brilliant. It just sounds so good. Looks great, sounds good, flies realistically. Oops, I didn't do the pre-cruise checks that lights are still on. Fuel, 4 pumps. We've got 60 kilos in the centre, so let's try and suckle that out. There we go. Turn off all the lights. Forward facing. The pressurisation we already checked at 20,000 feet, but we'll check again. 6.7 diff. Belts. Recall, checks complete. So these clouds are probably sort of on the, well, not part of the hurricane itself, but on sort of the extension of the hurricane. Yeah, it's still very windy in Daytona Beach at least. Idiot, idiot, do not. Have you ever had an FO realise you're flying? Absolutely. I'd say I never ever tell anyone at work, but I'd say during the type rating, a third of guys usually say, if it isn't from my voice, it's usually through word of mouth. But no, it's not a problem. We've got people tuning all over. We've got Tony from Cambodia. We've got Hugh Billing from New Zealand. Oh, it's fantastic, isn't it? I think Weatherman there, you put it far better than I did. The hurricane will get entangled in a front, which is most likely the source of these clouds away from the storm. Thank you. Master caution fuel. Low pressure centre pumps. Checked. Climb performance is very representative of the max. Now I need... Oh, guys, I forgot to mention, I've got a slot for across the pond. Routing, obviously a week on Saturday. I couldn't take part last cross the pond of work, but I am off, and I've already told my fiance, can I have that day off, please? She said, oh, go on then. Yeah, across the pond, I'm going from Newark, to Amsterdam, Schiphol. You guys need to decide what aircraft I take. It might be the new Tolis A330, which I'm showcasing later. It could be a 777, which I've never taken on across the pond. There's just too much choice. I could be the Fearless 742 with the default FMC. I don't know. I'm gonna have to poll it. I think 777 is probably going to be the one that I take. Joe Drage wanted Blériot. No. I think it might be the triple, just because I fly Boeing. I've not flown the triple on across the pond. But the thing is it Flight Factor or PMDG? I'll have to poll it. Fun fact, I've never used Microsoft Flight Simulator for Cross the Pond event. I've only ever used X-Plane. So what I'll do, I'll poll individual aircraft. If you choose 777, I'll have to do another poll so you guys decide which aircraft we take. Why is everyone saying Cessna 172? Cessna 172. Matt, Phoenix 74, that would be an awesome choice. And you could, I would put the default X-Plane FMC in it for across the pond instead of INS. But I know they have an inbuilt other FMC as well, a really old school one, or GPS, which I don't like using, but I tried using it, it's very complicated. Joe, I should use a balloon, brilliant. Or, Jamlin has actually made a good suggestion. You could get this easily across the pond. I don't know about fully loaded, but yeah, it's certainly feasible in this aircraft now. Jan Vanderhoff, yeah, INS, and I've only ever used the INS flying the 742, but flying that into Amsterdam with RNAV arrivals and RNAV SIDS out of New York, busy traffic, it's just not going to work very well. Yeah, the LTN 92, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, walking 93. I've tried it, but I found it quite complicated to use, and I don't have much time to actually sit down and learn it at the moment. Right, column thrust set. And we're in the cruise, and top of descent is only 60 miles away, so I've got to sort of start setting this up now for our approach into Daytona Beach. And look how it's getting much cloudier ahead of us as well. Where are we above? It's a large lake. I did see this on a map prior to the stream. What lake's this, guys, in Florida? We're over Lake Camel? Chamnel? I don't know. Cross Lake Chamnel, there we are. It's huge. Right, anyway, better do some work. A wet one. Brilliant. Right, let's do some briefing. There's no star into this airport, okay guys. So firstly, descent page. So VNAV, page 3, forecast, fetch the winds. Let's just grab the weather whilst we're waiting for the winds to upload. So yeah, it's still pretty miserable. 19 gusting 32. We're going to land off 07. Take the challenge of that max crosswind landing, because I do have the option here. With that wind, I'd definitely in real life be asking to land on runway 34. It's short, but with that wind, it would make your life considerably easier. But where's the fun in that in a desktop simulator? We're going to land off 07 left. The crosswind is within limits. So let's give it a go. So load, temperature is 24 degrees, so ISA plus 10 at least, especially based off the temperature up here. There's nowhere to put the QNH. Let's put in the fixed rings for the landing runway. 07 left. 10 and 5 miles for configuring. And we're at 27,000 feet, so top of descent is going to be around 81 miles from the airport. No star, guys. Alright, the airport or termination of the route is at Samira here, and then thankfully if you go here to the ILS chart, there's a transition via Samira, and look, there's a DME arc. Let's see how the DME arc looks on the ND. That'll be the first time we've tried it on in the B3A, right? Oh, look at that. It has drawn a beautiful looking curve. Look at that. Let me just go to Samira. Look at that DME arc. Okay, and that's based off Oscar Mike November. Do you know what's a really good way of checking the accuracy of the arc? Go to the fix page, type in what it's based off, Oscar Mike November, and we'll put in the DME 16. That should be perfectly on that magenta line. Oh. What's happened there? Oscar Mike November. Oscar Mike November. Let's just... That should be... That magenta line should be on the 16 mile point. Unless I'm doing something silly, but yeah, that's actually not. Let's see what happens, the actual DME. It could be that it's not co-located, but let's see what happens. We'll put the DME up. Let's put the VR active, 112.6. Oh, 18.9, my apologies. You're right. What? No, it's the arc though. Oh, no, yeah, that's what I was looking at. I was looking the other way. Sorry, 18.9, and I bet it's perfectly on. What? Who designed this airport? Thanks. There you go. That's how you can tell it's an accurately modelled accurately modelled DME arc. Look at the green dash line. Boom. Look at the magenta, and look where the green dash line comes up following my cursor. That is very good. Who designed this? Who in the Pans Ops designed this? Who thought let's do 16 there but 18.9 that way? Ah, there we go. Very good. Well done to the team. I thought that was some weird bug, but no, different DME arcs. So you can, in this day and age, when I started flying 13 years ago, some of the old school captains were like, ooh, you must tune the VOR up to make sure the aircraft is accurately flying the DME arc. In this day and age, with RNAV being everywhere, there is no requirement to actually tune the VOR and follow it, but you have to obviously have the ILS frequency for the ILS there. So we've got Ormond Beach active 12.6. The ILS frequency is 109.7. We'll put that on standby. Well, it just gets better and better, this add-on. The more we fly it, the more we see it can do, the better. It's amazing, isn't it? Right, well, courses are 070. The clouds are looking a bit lumpier over in that direction. Still horrible down in Daytona Beach. So frequencies, courses, just the minimums to set. Oh, come on. There we are. So minimums of the ILS, 230 feet, 230 feet, 200 feet AGL. RVR requirement is a statute mile, 3/4 of a statute mile, is that? 230 will set. We've definitely got sufficient visibility. The US charts are confusing. 230. Oops. Is also set, and we'll just preset the QNH or the inches of mercury. 2968.
Minimums. Approaching minimums.
2968. So there we are. Great test today for VNAV and LNAV to see if it flies this arc accurately. The arc rolls me out at Woomahall onto the ILS, and Woomahall is at 18.9 DME off the VOR. And Folig is 4.8 miles from touchdown. Okay, so we'll configure based off Folig when we pass Folig, or just before Folig, gear down flat 15. Let's see how it's managed the decels for each point here today. Yeah, so this is a bug. They need to fix this. Alipe, thank you for your continued support as a member as well. If I bring up the ND, it's just not slowing down. It did this last time, remember? So we can get rid of that arc, so we've confirmed the distance. So it takes me on a nice long final, but look out here. Folig 240 knots. That's way too fast. I don't want to be Folig at that sort of speed. So Folig, you know, you're coming up onto 4 miles, 240 knots. So really, at Tigay, the waypoint before, we want to be doing 180 knots or less. So I'm going to put 180 or B. So they just need to work out the decel for the approach. So I shouldn't need to put that in, but I'll manually put 180 knots there as well. So frequencies, courses, minimum set, MSA 2800, missed approach, climb 700 feet, right turn 3000, holding at Ormond Beach radial 033 to Samira and 3000 feet. Perfect. Yeah, it's navigating well. We just need to do our performance. Quite a long turn there. Top of descent coming up. Let's now look at our performance. So off this runway, which is what we're planning to land on, it's 3,200 metres. Loads of ways we can vacate. November 7 Whiskey. I think it does hopefully saved the performance from earlier because I did put it in. So performance. Show landing, and we want landing en route. No, it's not saved, unfortunately. We can quickly punch it in. So KDAB, and how do I can't remember how to search. There we are. So KDAB, runway 07 left. It'll be wet. We'll be conservative with performance. We'll put 0 for the wind. Temperature is 24 degrees. QNH we can convert to 968 1005. Reversers all up, flat 30 with those winds. Air conditioning on, anti-ice off. Brakes, auto brake 3, non-normal none. Complete. Landing weight, reset MCP altitude. Let's just go down to flight level 180 to start with. Oh, come on. It is a bit fiddly, this. There we go. So landing weights, just make sure we're actually below max landing weight. 400 kilos to burn, 67.9. We are below max landing weight by about 300 kilos. Flat 30. 67.9. VREF addition, I'm going to fly VREF plus 10 with those winds. Calculate. There we are. So 3,200 metres gives us 2,100 metres. So more than a sufficient performance. Auto brake 3 and second detent reverse to brake cooling. There we go. And we just started our descent into Daytona Beach. Checks complete. So right along the coastline now, this is where the hurricane, or the remnants of the hurricane, is still very much active. It doesn't look very nice out there compared to Miami. And we'll soon be descending into the Gulf down there. Alex, is there a reason for operator using a lower max landing weight? No idea at all. There's no consistency at all with Alex R. Max landing weight and the max is 68.2. For the NG it's 65.3, so there's a 3-ton difference. It's just the way the max is. I don't know why this landing weight is lower. It could be that iFly's gone a bit high with it. But I know the 737, the military version, has a much higher max takeoff weight as well. The Poseidon, or that's what the RAF call it. Alan, hello from Orlando. All is well here after a night of high winds and rain. Glad you're doing well, Alan. I think you're the first who's actually said hello from Florida, so welcome on board, buddy. Glad you have had minimal damage and problems. Waffles, can iFly do the RMP authorization required approaches with radius to fix? I don't know, Waffles, but seeing how it's drawn that DME arc, I'd like to think it can fly those quite accurately, but truthfully I don't know. Path's doing a good job, speed's a little bit high, but again, VNAV in the real aircraft can be a bit interesting with its ability to try to maintain target speed. With common VNAV, you can either increase your speed by putting the speed window, increase your descent speed in the FMC, or just use a bit of speed brake to get back on target speed. Jedi, can iFly do offset route? Let's have a look. Just line select key India. Oh, looks like maybe not. Oh no, no, it can. I'm being silly. I've never ever in 13 years used offset route. You just request a heading in European airspace, but yeah, you can do. Look, you then put your start and then waypoints, and then let's try it. Look, if you want, let's do from Tico. There should be a nice little curved line there to Oki. So the only thing that's missing is a lovely dashed white curved line onto the offset and then back again. So it does have it modelled to a degree. Whether it'll fly accurately, I don't know. I don't wish to try it. But you'll be pleased to know in how many hours now on this aircraft? 6.5, 7,000 hours. I've never had to use offset route. Maybe on the Tangos and the Oceanic, but I've never used it. Welcome, Ryman119. Hope you're doing well. Oh, look at that weather down there. But nothing got the weather radar. I don't know how accurately modelled it is. No problem, Jedi. As Hill says, engine failure after V1 followed by wind shear until the 737 outflight. Probably struggle is it. It depends on the strength of the wind shear, but certainly in the level D sim, when we do wind shear, there's 3 levels: light, moderate, and severe. Severe is you've got to promptly apply the wind shear escape manoeuvre, otherwise you will crash with 2 engines. Moderate is you've got to fly accurately, otherwise you'll descend. In light, it sometimes doesn't even set off the wind shear alarm, but wind shear warning from the weather radar, but no, from the EGPWS. But yeah, single engine, you're going to probably struggle. Again, it just depends on the strength of the wind shear. Right, what's the arc? 1900 feet. I could technically set 1900 feet on the MCP, but let's have a look at what the minimum airway altitude is. Well, there actually isn't one, but I think if we just go down to initially 8,000 feet, we'll set the QNH, which is 29er. Let me just double check. Don't want to get this wrong again. QNH, or inches of mercury in Daytona Beach. Can't find 29er, 69er. 29er, 69er is set, passing 16,900 for 8,000 feet, and the standby altimeter is set. Hi, Benjamin Hendrickson, hope you're well. Hemo, I've not done any direct comparisons between the Max and the PMDG, but the performance is pretty good. If you're interested, I have Fly Live, which is the overlay on top. That's showing 30... just came up, I've lost it now. 30. I'm getting 35, 36 FPS, 40. It seems to be hovering around there. So if I just share my screen quickly. There you go, you can see the frame rate monitor here. 30. Oh, it's sort of jumping up around a little bit, but that's what I'm getting here. Out here it's 60. 60 here, that's where it's capped. Very smooth out here. Alright, passing 15,000 feet, seatbelt sign on. Get the cabin secure nice and early. There's the arc coming up. Is there something painting on the weather radar? No, there's a smudge on my monitor. Folic still is 240 knots. Really? Have I changed that? Ah, yeah, that's a bug. That's a bug. Well spotted, IN Mooj, but you see I've commanded 180. That should show 180, 180, or it should actually be reducing. The runway 07 left, that should show, correct me if I'm wrong, VREF plus 10 knots, I think, is the speed it displays on the runway point. That's bugged, it's not working properly, or it's not displaying what you should do. Idiot, idio do not. Oh god, what a mouthful. I have nearly said it, but I haven't, and frequent viewers of this channel have heard me say my operator multiple times. And yes, why the screen's laggy? Yeah, it's been known, and I know the team at Flight One are looking at ways to improve the latency of the screens there. So I'm going to start the flight recorder for this. I think it'll be good to replay. I will just probably have to go on stand with the engines running though, just for the replay. If you don't mind me doing that today, and we'll go straight into the replay, because I'd rather watch those landings. Ryman, are you a real Max pilot? Yes, my operator has both the NG and Max. About 6,000 hours on the NG and about 350 odd hours on the Max. Coming up to the RNAV point, we've got the decel point for 250 knots here, and it's similar, we're flying the arc at 250, so it should start pitching up soon. There's the Florida coastline to the east. There's the decel, and it's commanded right back to 240 knots. .23 degrees, don't need any anti-ice. Very nice with the clouds. Yes, how do you fix IS disagree? You do the IS disagree memory items. Basically disconnect everything, turn off the flight directors in flight 4 degrees, attitude 75% M1, and go from there. Perfect. So, oh dear, it has cut the corner a little bit. So this is a little bit of tidying up required here by iFly. That should have followed the magenta line perfectly. It's cut the corner, and it seems to have given me a bit of an intercept heading onto the arc. It should have flown that perfectly like this. Oh, it's sort of sorting itself out. So that's the first sort of lateral bug I've seen with it. It's otherwise been very good. You can set down 1,900 feet. It seems to be sorting itself out on its own. It's just cut that corner. It's taking the racing line, absolutely. Ooh, it's doing a bit of a dirty dive as well, so let's just introduce a little bit of speed brake. Not beyond flight detent, there we are. And we've got now the decel for 180 knots or below, and there's that strong wind beginning to come in. But yeah, it hasn't managed that initial turn, but it now seems to be getting stabilised with 4 miles, 0.4 of a mile to the left of our desired track. Go to progress page 4, you can monitor that as well as a little bit more of an accurate figure there. So coming back onto it. There we are. So it's recovered, it just cut that corner. Drag required, but I am doing something about it. Post cruise checks. So fuel, 4 pumps, loads on board, lights, angular bank, pressurization. All set, belts on, recall, checks complete. Perfect. So you can see the DME arc, 18.9. And there we are on the aircraft, and we're at 19.1, but we are 0.2 of a mile the other side, so that is making perfect sense. It's not bad. The real aircraft, it nails it. We're 0.2 off, but we'll keep an eye on it as we fly around the arc. Just keep that speed brake out for a little bit longer. Josh, question for you. How often do you revise memory items in real life? I was wondering, this was when revising some memory items for the G aircraft, I fly a lot less to memorize them for the 7.3. You just sort of cover it every now and then. Speed brake is extended light as illuminated because the thrusters come up with speed brake. There we go. You just have to sit down and learn it. Like you would at school, learning for an exam. You know, no different. I sort of refresh them every few months. Obviously, I'm teaching it quite frequently, which helps too. Okay, so approaching the next decel point. That's to be at 180 knots or less. At TIG-8, it's left that, well, 6-10 miles now. That's actually okay. Because TIG-8, I want to be at 180 knots or less. So next thing, it will start decelerating again. Absolutely Nabil. The Max and NG are very similar in handling. It's the way it's been designed. Yeah, it's flown the arc 0.2 mile off the whole way. Right, let's start the flight recorder. That's on. Approaching the upspeed, so we'll go flap 1, and let's see how well it puts us onto the ILS. ILS is active. Hopefully when we go around the corner we should be bang on the glide slope, which looks like we are going to be. Very nice. So speed checked, flaps 1. Open the speed window. And now, in reality, I'd probably use VS and just place the aircraft manually onto the glide slope using vertical speed. VS to finesse. Use the MCP as a toolbox. We don't just spend the whole day in LNAV and VNAV. Flap 1, flap 5. The flaps, I think, extend a little bit too quickly. I need to time in comparison to the real max. Right, correct sensing arming approach. VNAV would have put us bang on the glide slope. Look, I'm in VS, but we're on path, and look where the glide slope is. Superb. But yeah, there's too much drag with flap 1 and flap 5. So just use VS now to place the aircraft onto the glide slope. There's no ATC, guys. So we'll just go offline. There we are. Looking good. Turn up the sim slightly now. Our localizer glide slope capture, runway heading 070 set, missed approach altitude 3,000 feet. The aircraft shouldn't turn left onto the localizer, it should maintain its current track and only turn in the direction you're coming in from, so a right turn basically. Matthew, the sim is missing all the Riddle students buzzing around Daytona Beach. Are those guys building their hours, Matthew, by any chance? Evergreen, we're just about to land at Daytona Beach with a strong crosswind. The remnants of Hurricane Milton, basically. We're approaching a 10-mile final. There's no DME off this ILS. It's just started to rain. One more weather update in chat. I'm sure one of the mods will grab that. But this is the beauty of a track-up display. That white triangle is actually the nose of the aeroplane. That's where the nose of the aeroplane is pointing right now. With that crosswind from the left, we're tracking in this direction. You imagine crossing a river against the stream and the flow of water. You're having to point the nose upstream, aren't you? So you actually end up going in a straight line. That's exactly what the aircraft's doing here. Chen, there's no DME on this beacon. It's it would say DME there. No DME. You could probably cross-track it with the VOR, but then you'd lose the flight directors on that side. Absolutely, Fox, you're correct. VNAV is bang on, look at this. VNAV bang on path, bang on the glide slope. Having said that, it is 10 degrees above ISO, but this shouldn't be too far off. Look at our ground speed, 165 knots, really slow, but we'll configure it 5 miles. For those of you who don't know, we're literally about to land. It's very steady, the wind at the moment. It probably, when you get around 1,500, 2,000 feet, the wind starts interacting with the ground, and that's when you start getting the turbulent air and the eddies and in the wind. Usually it can be quite smooth up to that point. Depends where you're landing. Perfect. So approaching 5 miles. Let's go. Oops. Gear down. Flap 15. Match the speeds. Look at the lighting. It's gone very dark now. Start switches. Continuous. Recall. Checked. Speed brake. It's really hard to arm green light, landing gear down to green, order brake is set to 3, and we can go straight to flap 30. Remember, we're going to fly VREF plus 10, just in case that wind gets a bit gusty. I can sort of see the approach lights coming into sight, still have a really, really strong crosswind. So flaps, we have 30 green light, lights on, checklist is complete. And RAS I've set to wet. Good. Wipers, someone said. Let's see how they are. There we are. They're a bit quicker in real life. Let's try high. The sounds are pretty good. Right, now Microsoft Flight Sim is doing its... Yeah, it's definitely wiping the rain. Microsoft Flight Sim is doing its wind thing, where the wind currently changes at low altitude. But we're ready to disconnect now. Just turn the sounds down slightly. Right. Disconnecting the auto throttle. Oh, right, when there was a gust of wind. Disconnecting the autopilot, I've got to push that. So Microsoft Flight Sim does... It would be a little bit choppier than this in real life. At this point, with a 30 knot crosswind, you'd have to be quite... now, I've got the wipers on a dry window, that's never good. But they've got the sounds really well. Right. Let's just see what Microsoft Flight Sim does with the wind. There's a little gust. So you're really scanning outside, the flight director still, and watch for those speed trend vector. When that changes, that's when you're active with the thrust. Remember, in a commercial jet airliner, thrust only controls speed, you don't pitch for anything else. But it looks fantastic out there. 20 knot crosswind now. It's a bit low on speed. I don't think, is there any puppies here?
400.
A little bit low on the glide, correcting speed. Ooh, that speed trend vector, getting low on the glide. Pitch up. Yeah. Crikey, I know that was wind chill. Oh, I got so low quickly. Checked. Getting blown downwind here, careful.
Minimum.
Continue. It's flying well.
100. Slow.
Yeah, that's...
50, 40, 30. 30.
Check.
20,
Close.
10.
Bit of right rudder. Aileron into wind. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. That wasn't very well good. Oh, crikey. I put the aileron into wind, but I didn't need to. That's just like with the PMDG, unfortunately. 180. 60. Well, that was a 20-25 knot crosswind. We definitely don't need the wipers on now. I've scratched the windows to death. Crikey. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Daytona. Yeah, okay. So, when I put the left rudder into decrab, okay, no, sorry, right rudder to decrab, I put the aileron into wind, just like I would in the real aircraft. I didn't need any aileron into wind at all. So, in reality, you know, when you put that right rudder in, you'd have to go like that. And as soon as I did that, we just rolled left. So, unfortunately, again, that's limitations with this simulator. When you put the right rudder in, or when I put the right rudder in there to decrab, the left wing swings forward, there's an increase in lift, and then I have to put the aileron into wind to counteract that. Unfortunately, that just wasn't very well modelled. But well, we've arrived, and it was a very strong crosswind, so, you know, it's all good. It's all good. Right, we'll vacate here to the left. Welcome to Daytona. Not the nicest of days, but we would have survived that. I'm not looking at chat, just looking at the banter. But yeah, a lot of banter. Hope I do better in real life. Yes. Well, you look at the inputs I made during the flare. I instinctively put the aileron into wind, which you do in these conditions, but the aircraft just rolled left. There was no sort of secondary effect of that yaw input, unfortunately. Right, let's do the taxi inflow. Flaps up. We're going to go on stand, but leave the engines running so we can watch the replay. In fact, you know what? I'll leave the flaps extended, and I'm not going to do a cleanup. We'll just taxi on to stand and then do the replay, and then we'll call it a day. It's going to be a quick break before we do another stream later in the tow-less Airbus A330, first ever time flying that. But yeah, this sort of exposed the limitations in Microsoft Flight Simulator. The PMDG with that crosswind does the exact same thing. We've done a lot of max crosswind landings. When you decrab in the flare, the aileron input required is quite a lot more than you get in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Why are there random cars parked in the apron? Oh, default Microsoft Flight Sim scenario. Right, look guys, because we're going to do the replay, we're not doing the full taxi and shutdown today, and we're going to bring it here. But that's because the iFly doesn't have any panel states, unfortunately. So I'm just going to bring it to a stop. Welcome. Set the parking brake. I'll read the comments now on landing, and then we'll go straight into the replay so we can sort of observe what happened there. But it wasn't too bad. Tommy Sue, I missed your donation. Thank you very much. Really looking forward to the iFly 737 MAX. Thank you. The reason that didn't ping up Tommy Sue is because I was on the what do you call it? The webcam camera, which I do have the alerts blocked off, so it's not distracting. But thank you very much for your donation. And certainly don't be put off by the fact that the crosswind landing technique didn't really work, and it's always never worked in this sim. Exactly right, but it's still a fantastic add-on. A lot of people said, Jesus, chiropractors, brilliant, Kaplamo, yeah, excellent. A lot of banter here with all the comments. I should have had my soundboard going off. Where's all my sound effects? Oh, I can't find them. Yeah, good one. It was a bit of a landing for sure. We're alive, absolutely, Malaysian Aviator. Yeah, brilliant. Trucker Boy said an ambulance is on its way. Chiropractor, yep. Any more? Keep them coming. And my bank is in bits, Captain, said Joshua. Brilliant. Okay, brace, itches, scratches. Yep. Any more? Can't do crosswind landing. Refund, Tom H. Unbelievable. Yeah, this is just horrible banter. Right, shall we have a look at the replay, guys? We haven't done a replay in this aircraft yet, so cue the replay music. We'll call it a day here today, because it's just a short stream to have flown in these conditions. Yeah, right, absolutely, I'm a Navy pilot. Top Gun music play now. Right, where's the background music? There we go. Let me just turn Fly Live off as well. Let's activate the replay. There we are. So it should all be configured, engines running, ready for this here. So let's have a look here. So I'll talk you through what sort of happened. If I bring the controls up, hopefully the gear will get down quickly.
300.
Let's turn the music down there. So, you know, it was looking good there. We definitely had a period where I was blown low, though. I don't think there's any pappies here, but this is just a default airport here in Daytona. So have a look at what happens. Can you see the rudder? And watch when I put the rudder in how I make the aileron input into wind, presuming it's modelled. Let's have a look here.
50, 40, 30.
So right
20,
rudder,
10.
put the aileron into wind. So we just rolled left. So that was not realistic. And look, I was having to make those inputs. So if I do this slowly, if it's possible, it's not. Watch this. So when you decrab, watch my crosswind landing tutorial. Type in YouTube Flight Data Sim crosswind landing tutorial. Right rudder, and watch the control column.
50,
When I put the
40,
right rudder in,
30, 20.
now I put left right on, but look at the airplane rolls left, and then I'm having to, because I've induced the oscillation, having to keep the wings level with the control column. So you have to put a lot of aileron in. Have a look at any crosswind landing from the real aircraft, and then you're keeping the aileron into wind during the roll out. Let's have a look at how it looks from outside. Probably not as bad, I'm hoping. I think if we go from behind. Evergreen, yes, in X-Plane, that is modelled very well, the secondary effect of yaw, which is roll. So I was a little bit downwind of the centre line, not ideal, but we sort of corrected it by the time we got to 50 feet. There's the aileron, and it just didn't roll. The airplane rolls a lot, the 7.3. The wing flex is excellent. Let's have a look from here. Yeah, right pod, you've got to be very careful on the NG. That's why it has a longer nose gear, because of the distance of the pod. Yeah, and then that rudder, because that rudder's so sensitive, and the nose gear gripped really well, you're yawing all over. V-Sky check, absolutely, check out my max crosswind landing tutorial, and that was in the Zebo mod, where, credit to Zebo, the technique can be applied accurately. Right then guys, that's it for this very mini stream. We'll put you in the wing view so you can enjoy the approach from a perspective of a passenger in this seat here. Oh, look at all the horrible rain.
Airport data at this position.
Oh, shush, GSX.
Not available.
I don't care. Yeah, excellent. Well, the aircraft is still amazing. Look, it's the best max I think we're going to see for some time in any simulator. So I cannot wait for this aircraft to be released so you guys can start enjoying it as well. Don't forget, I will be going live later again in the Tolis Airbus A330. As soon as I end that stream, it should link you to that stream if I've set it all up correctly. I'll be going live at 9 o'clock British Summer Time, so it's about 4.5 hours from now. But yeah, this aircraft's great, just some limitations, as there are with every aircraft in Microsoft Flight Simulator, with aircraft behaviour, decrabbing and keeping the ailerons level, the wings level with ailerons there. Awesome. To everyone in the Florida area, thank you very much for tuning in. I know there was a number of you here. It was great to hear that most of you have escaped unharmed and undamaged of your properties and belongings, so no doubt there has been some damage. So everyone here, I'm sure their thoughts are with everyone in the Florida area, as well as the hurricane now blows off into the Atlantic. But it was good fun sort of flying in the remnants of those conditions today. Guys, take care. Thank you very much for all your continued support, to all the members for your continued support especially, and I'll see you all again later on in about 5-6 hours. Cheerio.